Once Human Phase 2 has been live for about a day now, and I have spent the better part of the last 20 hours messing around with the new thermal towers. Today we're going to be doing a complete breakdown of the thermal tower. Let's go ahead and start off with the elephant in the room, which is the fact that I don't know if these are even technically working right now. They may possibly be bugged out, which is definitely something people should keep their eye out for. As you can see here, we're looking at a total Chaosium cost per minute of 0, with seemingly 0 Chaosium inside of the deposit box. If we hover over this little information icon, it says, while operational, the thermal tower will consume the Chaosium in your depot. When you do not have enough Chaosium in the depot to sustain the thermal tower, it will stop operating. So technically, I'm at a 0 cost per minute, so this should be operating, but I can't guarantee it's operating. And the reason I think this might be bugged out is because if you see here, add Chaosium, it takes me over to the depot where you can see that we currently have 252 Chaosium. Another reason why I think it's bugged is you see here, I could technically unlock the thermal range 2, but I am spamming F to apply this, and it is not allowing me to. This would up the Chaosium cost multiplier, but as you can see, it's just not letting me do it. I'd like to point out quickly, if it did allow me to do this, it would buff my tower's range from like 192, I think it's at, all the way up to 324. Not quite double, so you're probably looking at like 12 to 14 territories that would fit inside of a thermal range 2. The same goes with the bars over here. With these thermal towers, you can adjust the temperature in the surrounding area. You can plus or minus it up to 30 degrees at a cost of some Chaosium. And again, here I'm spamming F to apply, and it will not allow me to do so. I'm assuming it's because this is not registering any Chaosium in the depot, and I'd imagine this is a bug that will end up getting fixed very soon. So be sure to keep an eye out, because you're gonna have to start managing your Chaosium cost per minute and the amount that you have inside of your thermal tower to even keep the thing operating. Now that we have that out of the way, you can see we have the entirety of this thermal tower unlocked. Let's go ahead and break down each of the individual buffs that you could unlock. Starting from the top, we have Peril Spark. This is going to unlock an additional temperature level, allowing you to go to the plus or minus 30. There's Wide Area Radiation. This is going to give you cold resist plus 10 and heat resist plus 10, as well as 10% extra elemental damage, and this effect is going to fade over 10 minutes after you leave your tower's area. This, I think, is going to be one of the next ones that I unlock. Being that this entire region is surrounded by lava, I think that plus 10 heat resistance is definitely going to help us. But let's move on. We have Stardust Control. This makes it to where the thermal tower consumes Chaosium while emitting a small amount of stardust, which is going to turn the surrounding area into a pollution zone. We have Geological Survey, which is going to upgrade the vein resource level by 1. I'm assuming this has to do with mining operation platforms. We have Chaosium Deviation. This makes it to where the temperature around the thermal tower is optimal, increasing the deviation probability of all planted crops by 30%. This is another one that I want to unlock, but I do want to point out something else while we're talking about it. The fertilizers. One of the fertilizers that requires apples, I believe it's the growth boost, is currently very hard to get. There's only a handful of ways that you can go about getting it. The one that I know of is if you have the silver axe crafting recipe, you will be able to chop down trees and get apples, which would allow you to craft this. There may also be some shops scattered around that have apples. I'm not entirely sure. Let me know down in the comments if you guys have run into any apples. Let's go ahead and keep it going with Tower Reinforcement, which is going to increase the durability of your thermal tower by 100%. This is definitely going to be something that you want to unlock, especially with the Chaos Weavers coming in later phases. Up next, we have the Gulped Killer. This makes it to where Gatling cannons inside of the tower's radiation range gain 100% increased damage and 30% increased durability. And then we have Colossal Hunt. This makes it to where when facing a Colossal, all player weapons within the thermal tower range will gain 500% increased range and a 30% boost in the weapon damage. This is another one that you're going to definitely want to unlock when it comes to the later phases. I'm going to very quickly burn through the rest of these. We have full combustion, which reduces chaosium consumption by 30%. We have oil exploration, which turns the area into an oil field. All of your planted crops have a 50% chance of producing an extra seed. We have genetic selection, which makes young animals born near the thermal tower stronger and more rare, I'm assuming. Then we have the animal production boost, which is going to increase the common byproduct yield by 1 and the rare byproduct yield by 1 as well. We have the cluster effect, which makes it to where manufacturing facilities are going to have a 15% reduction in manufacturing time. We have interlaced frost, which is going to make it where while you're by your tower, you're going to have a 30% frost damage, as well as a plus 10% on top of that if the temperature is below 10 degrees Celsius. And then finally, interlaced fire, which is the same thing, but with blaze damage and above 30 degrees. Now, the other two sections are fairly easy to unlock, so I'm assuming that you guys have been able to look through those yourself, so I'm going to save the video some time and not break those down. The very last thing that I have to go over in regards to the thermal towers is this thing right here called chaosium waste. As soon as this reaches 80%, you can purify it, which is going to give you a return of chaosium as well as other material. This purification process is similar to the other ones in the sense that you are going to have to defend your thermal tower while this is happening. As to how intense the attacks get, I don't quite know yet, because as you can see, I'm only at 80%. Let me know down in the comments if you guys have purified your thermal tower yet and how crazy it got. But that's all I wanted to break down inside of this video. I hope you guys all have an amazing day. I'm out.